Well, good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday morning, October 13th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining us today here at the city of Monterey and to my update mornings with the manager. I have a few items that I want to talk to you about today, and I hope you find the information useful and informative. Wanted to keep you updated about the issue of the encampments that you see alongside Highway 1, Highway 68, Highway 218. We have worked very hard with Caltrans over the past 9 months, and Caltrans started finally cleaning up the sites about 4 or 5 weeks ago. As you recall, Caltrans was prevented from going to those sites and clean them up because the state of California, specifically the governor's office, had directed Caltrans to leave those sites untouched. And what we have seen over the months, that those sites have become really not just quote unquote encampments, but they also have become really a dump for all types of garbage, often spilling into the right of way of Caltrans. Our neighbors have many times connected with us, with the city. Some of you also have connected with Caltrans to let them know that this is not acceptable. And finally, like I stated, about at the end of August, I believe, the governor issued an order and directed Caltrans to clean up the highways. Caltrans is District 5 here for our area, is doing a very good job. And they keep us very well informed about the encampments and also about the cleanup efforts undertaken there. Our police department, our multidisciplinary outreach team, is in connection with Caltrans and also keeps Caltrans updated about other sites that may not have been on the horizon of Caltrans. So far, I think 8 sites have been cleaned up, but we need to be totally aware what that means is that it means that the garbage has been removed there, all the trash is gone, the sites are cleaned up. However, that does not mean that new folks can go back into those areas and occupy the sites again. What we are actually doing in connection with Caltrans and the California Highway Patrol, we have offered every single resident of those encampments help as well as shelter space, and that is all part of the cleanup effort. Of course, no one in the state of California can be forced to take that offer, and everyone who takes that offer will be housed in a shelter. And those folks that are electing not to take that shelter now, those folks are probably the ones that we see back on those sites. So we have cleaned up sites across our city, all adjacent to Caltrans properties. We are aware of other areas where we still have homeless encampments next to Caltrans properties, and we are working with Caltrans there. As a matter of fact, right now, even our team is out there at a location that was reported to us earlier this morning, and we're trying to figure out if that site is a Caltrans site or a city site. In all likelihood, we think this is a city site, and there we can actually immediately work with the homeless, offer help, and conduct cleanup areas. The other part that is important to know is that inside the city, our multidisciplinary outreach team is continuously reaching out to homeless folks and their encampments. And every single day, we are basically notifying residents of those encampments that they are have shelter opportunities and they can leave those sites. They should leave those sites, and we are posting it. And after 24 hours, if a site is not occupied, we can actually take the stuff away, clean up the site. However, we have to store everything that we are taking from those sites for 90 days. And we have a large storage container at one of our corporation yards, and that container then will be filled with the stuff that people have left at the site. Again, we have to post, we have to notify what we will do. There's at least 24-hour notification period. But if the site is then not occupied when we come back after 24 hours, it counts as abandoned. However, the stuff that we collect, the personal items that we collect, we have to store for about 90 days. And from time to time, folks from those encampments are actually coming and retrieving their belongings then from us. So it's a very, very regulated process. And from the outside, it's sometimes hard to understand why certain things take so long, or why certain things are done the way they are done. Trust me, there's a very complex legal network behind all that ensures that everyone's rights are being respected, and it's quite a difficult undertaking. It's not a straightforward path as many of our residents sometimes believe it is. Talking about my next topic is COVID-19. As you can tell, the numbers are trending very, very strongly in the right direction. It remains mainly now an infectious disease for those of us who are not vaccinated. I shared with you that the city of Monterey required all of our employees to be vaccinated. We are in that state since September 15th. So almost 4 weeks after we required all employees to be vaccinated. 96% of our employees are now fully vaccinated. We have probably a dozen or so of employees that have requested accommodations based on medical or religious exemptions, and we are accommodating them to the degree that we can accommodate them. I'm very proud of what we did as a city organization. I'm very proud that we accomplished those numbers. Now, our vaccine requirement and mandatory testing requirement is linked to the COVID CDC tracker, and you can look every night at 5 p.m. Pacific time where this county is tracking. County of Monterey was in tracked as a high risk, high infectious county for quite a number of weeks. Last week, Thursday or so, I believe, we trended for the first time in the substantial tier. And as long as we are in the substantial or high tier, for the city, the requirement to be vaccinated and have mandatory testing for those who are not vaccinated and are getting accommodated. As long as we are in those two tiers, we will have that requirement in effect. So I foresee that as we are trending now slowly from substantial into moderate and hopefully soon in low, that we can lift that policy also. But until then, the CDC, their data tracker is the benchmark that we have set. And now, of course, the CDC gets their data from the county reports it to the California Department of Public Health, and the California Department of Public Health sends this over to the CDC. So that's how that chain of data is running. If you look at the county data yesterday, it looked very promising again. We are trending in the right directions. You can go every Tuesday now to the farmers market. The city of Monterey is hosting walk-in clinics for a number of months now there, where you just can go in and you can get now the Pfizer booster shot. You can also get Moderna or Johnson & Johnson or Pfizer first shot. So we have all three vaccines available there. And it's every Tuesday starting at 4 p.m. till 6 p.m. and we have a big red vaccination truck that also serves as a fire engine. And when you see that, you can just walk there, have your vaccination card ready, and our team will be there and administer the um, the, the shots that you like to have. We have started giving out the Pfizer booster shot to our safety personnel, public safety, police officers, fire personnel, other emergency responders. They have been vaccinated as early as late December, early January. So they are fully, and it was Pfizer at that time, and they are fully falling under the regulations right now to be eligible for the Pfizer booster. Generally, also in COVID, you have heard that Moderna as well as Johnson & Johnson are applying for their versions of booster shots. You heard that Pfizer has been approved for the kids 5 to 12 years old as an emergency measure. And you also know that there is a COVID treatment pill out there that Merck has developed, and Merck is also in front of the FDA right now to get approval, emergency approval for that pill. Parallel, the Biden administration has ordered already those pills to be ready to be distributed in case the FDA will give out an approval, an emergency approval for that treatment through a pill. What is important to note also that the pill is no replacement of vaccination. It's basically regarded at a 50% level of efficacy for the first 48 hours to really prevent severe inflammation and severe effects of COVID-19. So going into the next 4 weeks, which will include the period of start of the holiday season, including Thanksgiving, we can see that our tools are a lot better than they were a year ago. The county has over 82% vaccination rate. We have all the vaccines on hand. We have actually now medical treatments coming that will be helpful. So our position going into the holidays is a lot stronger. What is also important to note is that the flu last year was basically non-existent, but if you listen to the medical experts right now, they believe that there may be a stronger flare-up of the flu happening again because people are not as isolated anymore as we were a year ago. So flu shot clinics are also out there, and I got my flu shot about 2 weeks ago. A lot of our employees got their flu shots as well. We hosted for our employees a clinic here at our fire station and then outside of City Hall. I encourage all of you also, let's not forget the flu shots. You need both shots to get safer through the winter. So again, flu shot clinics are popping up everywhere, and flu shots are also covered by your insurance in all likelihood. So, and if you go to a grocery chain, they give you even $5 off for shopping, or Rite Aid gives you a free scoop of ice cream, whatever there. So there are a lot of good incentives out there to also get the flu shot. So let's not forget the flu shot. But also with the COVID-19, there's another interesting number set of data that I wanted to share with you. We currently have a conference here in the city of Monterey, and it's usually a conference that is visited by 800 to 1,000 folks. It's one of those conferences that usually comes every year. This year, the sign up was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, 400. So usually we have 800 to 1,000. The conference this year was announced with 400 participants. And we were pretty happy about getting at least 400 participants into the conference center during the week because, of course, during the week they frequent our businesses, they go into the restaurants, they go to the wharf, etc. And so it's good in a low season in which we are right now to have conference participants here in the city. And what happened over the last 2-3 weeks, the number of registrants, the number of registered participants went up. So right now, today, we have over 700 folks back at the conference center. And last night, the Old Monterey Business Association sent out an email to their businesses and said, hey guys, just be prepared tonight and tomorrow. We have over 700 folks in the downtown area, and there is no programming for them at the conference center in the evening, so be prepared that there might be people coming, walking up and down Old Monterey to get a dinner or catch a show or whatever is currently offered at Golden State Theater. So what does it tell me? It tells me that there's confidence again. People are coming back as vaccination rates are improving, and also as the Delta variant is going a little bit more into the rearview mirror. That's about COVID. I want to tell you next week, Tuesday, we have again a council meeting. It starts at 4 p.m. It's really not a lot of stuff on there that is triggering a lot of interest. I think the afternoon session has an interesting item. It's about disc golfing. We will approve an agreement with Stinging Jellyfish to Stinging Jellies, I think is a disc golf club. We will approve an agreement with them in principle to allow them to use Ryan Ranch Park again. As you recall, we had to stop allowing use there as a park because we had to go through a really environmental review there to better understand what is being affected by the disc golf. We have done all that. We have communicated with them. We've negotiated with them over the past 12 months or so. And next week, Tuesday, we will bring forward to council an understanding and an agreement, and we are very happy about that. The other part that will be in the evening session is we will talk about accessory dwelling units, ADUs and JDUs, junior dwelling units. In a nutshell, the Planning Commission talked about the state law there about ADUs and JDUs, that this item was discussed at least twice by the Planning Commission and then finalized and approved by the Planning Commission and being forwarded to the City Council. They will talk about that next week, Tuesday. The items are not really straying away from state law. There will be a discussion about the height, about ADUs in some areas. It might be advisable to allow the height restrictions to be lifted, not to restrict it just at 16 feet, maybe go up to 22 feet. So I expect there will be some discussions about that in front of council, but in essence, what will come forward is a reflection of the implementation of the state law that was implemented in 2020. So that's the other highlight that will be coming to council next week, Tuesday. What is also interesting, and I like to report back about that, was that we held a study session 2 weeks ago, Wednesday, about housing and specifically about rent stabilization and rental registry. And the council took a lot of input from the public. I think over 25 to 30 folks called in and shared their thoughts about that. And we will see how this will develop over the next couple of months or so. So we are looking right now as staff into the data that we have available. It was clear that council was asking us, what do we know actually about the rental units in the city of Monterey? How are they currently registered as businesses? What kind of units do we have? How many studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, etc. do we have? Do we have any idea how many are managed by property management companies? How many units are allocated per property management company? So there was a lot of request for data, and we are talking about that internally right now and trying to find all the data points, and we will report that back to City Council at a future meeting once we have all the data points together, and then the council can advise how they want to continue that conversation. It was a very robust discussion. It was a discussion that highlighted again that there is not enough housing on the Monterey Peninsula. It was clearly also highlighting that we have a lot of topics that are ranging from water supply to rent heights, rent ceilings, etc. So it was, like I said, a long study session. We started it at 7, and I think we ended it about, I want to say, 9:45 p.m. in that night, and it was very good, robust conversation, and I'm grateful that so many of you called in and shared your thoughts with that. We are seeing a lot of recycling, quote unquote, being put out by residents at the corners in neighborhoods at certain intersections. And it's all done probably in a good spirit to offer old chairs, old bed frames, discarded other items, little tables, coffee tables, or nightstands or lamps to other users. That's all nice, and it makes sense to offer this for reuse, because if somebody else can reuse that, it's better than to dump it in the landfill. But here it is. It is not meant to get rid of your trash. It's not meant to just dump the stuff at the corner of the intersection and then walk away, and 3 weeks later we have to deal with an old couch that no one wants, and that cats and dogs have abused over the course of being there. And this is not okay. So I'm asking you, if you see anything like that, make sure that your neighbors are being responsible. If no one want to pick it up after a day or two, take it back inside. Call Monterey City Disposal. If you want them to pick it up, you have still the right within our franchise agreement for carry heavy loads to be picked up. I believe it's at least twice a year. So call it in. You don't have to sit on it, and somebody professional will pick it up at no cost for you. But it's not, our intersections are not dump sites under the disguise of reuse, recycling. Many times I can tell people are just getting rid of their stuff. And what concerns me also, and where you can help us, is that the neighbors adjacent to that site always know where it comes from. And if you know where it comes from and it bothers you, let us know, because we will connect very friendly with the affected neighbors and kindly ask them to take the box spring and the mattress back inside, because after 2 or 3 days, no one wants to pick that one up. So help us to keep our neighborhoods clean. Connect with us if you know about a site where you see those things happening over and over again, and when you see 2 or 3 weeks later a city truck stopping by there and discarding that. We have a lot of things to do in the city. This is not one of the things we really want to do. All right, with that, that is all what I had to share with you. Thank you for your comments today. And I hope to see you again in 3 weeks. As always, if there's anything that we can do for you, please connect with the city manager's office, and we'll make sure that someone will get back to you and will provide you with help, or will provide you with feedback. Thanks so much. It's a pleasure working here in the city of Monterey. Have a great day. Bye-bye.